Hey! Well, welcome to Booze Battalion Chronicles. So what we do during these episodes is we talk through all kinds of moments, things that are funny, and other things that aren't so funny, or our moments where our kids just really need some extra help and we can't find it or we're having trouble finding it. And this is all dealing with their sensory episodes and their social anxieties that that our kids have. So welcome. We're happy to be here. We've had a little break. We were doing weekly podcasts, but then we decided that we wanted to add in doing live, as well as the podcasts and the blogs and things that we're doing, just to make sure that we're really reaching all the audiences and everybody that we can, so we can help as many kids and as many families as we can. So today, our episode is going to be about how we help kids, or how you can help kids through those treacherous moments after school. It's going to be great. You see, I have Michael here with me. For those of you that don't know, Michael is my husband. And he likes to be here during the podcasts. It's just fun, isn't it?
It's actually a lot of fun.
Yeah. I've kind of missed it the last couple of weeks. What do you think?
I have too. We've had a lot of stuff going on.
Oh man, so much between sick kids and plumbing, and it's just been a mess. But I'm glad that we're back and we're able to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So, what spurred this and the topic for today is that one of our parents that's in Booze Battalion, she came to me and she said, I need your help. And I'm like, okay, what can I do? And she was telling me all about how her kid just has so much trouble after school. He comes home and it's just an immediate episode, right? So
Right.
He gets angry and he has all of these emotions like a tornado and nothing's right. And it's really hard for her and she didn't know how to handle it. So I thought this is a perfect opportunity, especially since we're just starting school and all of that good stuff, for us to really talk through things that we did, our experiences that really helped Boo and our kids get through those same moments.
Yeah, we had plenty of those throughout the years with Charity, and it took a while for us to find the right thing that works for her.
So many things.
Mm-hmm.
So many things. So, yeah, like some of the first things we started doing is we went through the phase where therapists and such told us that she needed to have boundaries. So when she'd get home from school, and if she was having these outbursts, these episodes, whatever you want to call them, we would, put her in a timeout. Or whatever else the therapist suggested, take away her game time or take away her TV time.
Right.
Things like that. Let me tell you.
It don't work.
It just got worse.
Yeah. It never worked whatsoever.
No. And then, we did the whole don't give them attention, right? Because when they're doing this, they're seeking attention. They learn that they get more attention from you, in the hugs or whatever the case may be. And so not to give them that attention. Yeah, that didn't work either.
No. I think it made it worse.
Yeah. Then we went to, bear hugs, which bear hugs are a pretty good staple in our house.
Mm-hmm.
And those are really useful for when she's overstimulated and she's, maybe hurting herself or trying to hurt others, things like that. Fortunately, we haven't had many of those episodes recently.
We haven't had one in over a year.
Has it been that long?
Yeah, it's been over a year.
Oh my gosh. All of the tools are working.
They are.
I hadn't even realized it had been that long.
Yeah, it's been over a year.
Wow. So the bear hugging, that did help some, right? It kept her from completely going off, but it didn't help overall, as in there was no lasting effects, no residual effects, nothing that we could really say, this is the answer.
Right.
Tell you what, I was about at my wit's end too after all of that. I mean, those were all suggestions by therapists, and none of them worked.
Because they were the book answer.
That is so true.
They're the book answer.
Me and another mom were just talking about how you can't go by the book. You have to go by experience more than the book.
It's like when I was in the military, there was a thing we used to tell people, you know about the military, you know how to do your job, right? But there was the book way to do it, so there was the book smart with it, right? But then there was the street smart, which was actually doing your job that you were trained to do.
Right.
So me being overseas in the two countries, we did the job.
Right.
So I actually did what I was trained to do. Didn't just read in a book and then every once in a while, I train it up. It didn't work. So I'm not saying they weren't smart guys that were like that, but I'm just saying that there's book smart and there's street smart. And sometimes what they tell you is just from the book, it just doesn't work sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, even from my experience in the medical field, the same way. Like, you learn certain things during your certifications or your trainings, which can be useful. But it's a whole different world when you get actually into the field and start doing it. So this is similar. So what we ended up doing that worked really well for Boo, and I've done a lot of research behind why it worked, because, of course, the answers weren't there from therapists. They wanted to know how we got it to work too.
Right.
Is we took the one thing that really got Charity's attention. And at this point, that was drawing. Right. Drawing's always kind of been her thing. And when we did this drawing, what we did is, as soon as she got home, for 30 minutes, she'd get to sit down at the table. She'd have all of her stuff out there on the table, and she would get to draw or paint or color, whatever she chose. We wouldn't talk to her. Her brother wouldn't talk to her. Like, he'd sit down and do his drawing too, because we kind of had everyone in on it. They'd get their snack, and then they'd get their juice. So they had their nourishment after school. Mm-hmm. But the important thing is that we allowed her brain to reset and recharge in a controlled way. So when she was drawing, she could still have those outbursts of emotions, right? Mm-hmm. But it was with the crayon and the paper.
Right.
Or the paint and the paper. And what was really important about this is it's like a meditative stance for them, a trance, right? Mm-hmm. If it's something like, some kids are Legos, some kids are Pokemon cards, some kids are writing, some are reading. My favorite one is reading. I mean, you know that I can finish a whole book in a day.
Or two.
Yeah, or two. But what it does is it helps their brain calm down. And the reason this is important, and we've learned this more as Charity's gotten older, because we were able to talk to her about it and discuss her actual feelings towards it, is she spends all day working really hard at school to follow the rules, have that super structure, because of course school's more structured than our house. So that super structure ability, trying to make sure that she's nice and she responds as much as she can, right? And then she comes home and it's just like, it's like a gate lifted, right? Mm-hmm. Not a gate, sorry, a weight lifted. Yeah. Gate opening. There we go. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden she's in this place where she's safe with her family who understand her and who knows her. And when she gets and crosses over that threshold or gets in that car, right, then all of a sudden and it all comes spewing out. All of that energy that she bunched up for so long, 8 hours of the day, is finally released. And when it's released in a manner that is appropriate to whatever she's doing, which ends in a lot of frustrations. Because, we're talking about homework, we're talking about chores, we're talking about this, we're talking about that. Mm-hmm. And it's never helpful for her because her brain needs that time to allow that relaxation and to allow that energy and those emotions in another form. So if you really get them into that thing that helps them get into that meditative type trance, then it will over time help them have a better opportunity to come home from school and not have those outbursts or those episodes or whatever you're calling them.
Yeah.
It's an amazing thing. Like, you can see it right away.
Mm-hmm.
And the kids almost treat it as a reward, right? They keep it held up just a little bit longer until they can sit down and they can do their activity, and then they know that they're safe. But the key here is you as a parent have to not be demanding at that time. So not talking about chores, not talking about homework. If you can, I mean, yeah, every day is going to be different. Sometimes you got to go to the store or whatnot, and you're not going to be able to have this. But as much as you can, if you have this after school, they get it into their schedule. They know it's coming, and it allows them to better handle themselves and their outbursts or their heavy emotions and that energy until they can put it into a place that is positive.
Mm-hmm. So one way that I think that can work is kind of like the reverse way of how Charity does when we go out.
Right.
And when we go out, she puts her headphones on, right? And she listens to her music and listens to things and gets her mind out of it. So if they're coming home from school or coming home from from anywhere really, give them that what puts them in that meditative state, right? Before on the way home.
Yeah, so most definitely, like the music is totally her thing now.
Because we'll go out to the big city. We'll go out to eat busy restaurants. She usually doesn't have her headphones on. Oh. And so she eats and everything, but usually after we're done with doing that, we go home. You know, we do all our shopping and stuff like that. We eat somewhere and then we go home. And that, as soon as we are done eating and we're about to pay that check, she's got those headphones.
And that's because we have a rule that there's no electronics at the table. It's a perfect time to have some family conversation and some togetherness. But you're right, she does. As soon as we're done and she knows that it's okay, she has those headphones on so that she can relax, she can release, and she can lose herself into that music. So she doesn't have to worry about everything else that's going on. Right.
So that was one way you can do it, is get those things that they want to use, so that helps calm them down, and have them use it on the way home.
Yeah. So if there's headphones with music, or if you can have, if it's Pokemon, have some Pokemon cards in the car that just stay in the car that they can look through, or that you can have in a carrying case, whatnot. If it's Legos, then you can have a little box of Legos that they can sit there and kind of piece together. And there are going to be things that are different.
Right.
But you got to find that thing that really works with your kid. So we can only speak to examples that we've had and things that have worked. But overall, it's finding that one thing that'll put them in that trance and allow them to release that energy in a productive manner.
Right.
Yeah. So during the squad meetings that we have, we talk about these types of things, right? So during August, our squad meetings were all about things related to school, how to have patience, flexibility, how to, be at recess. And during that, we talked about meditations.
Right.
And this is because that as our kids, a lot of them are special needs. They have that opportunity to be able to do meditations. And any kid can do a meditation at lunch or at recess. Or even if you ask the teacher, then most schools are accommodating as long as it's just for a few moments. So I've got a video here, a few videos of the kids and what we did and what we were working with them for these meditations. And it's super cute. You want to look at it?
Yeah.
So for this first one, what you're going to see is the actual meditation that I was working with the kids on. It's making a calming rainbow.
Arms back down. Get ready for the orange to appear.
Here we go.
Imagine we have dipped our paintbrushes into orange paint. So breathe in and lift the arms up. And slowly back down as you breathe out.
Good job, guys.
Now we're going to paint the yellow band. Imagine we have dipped our paintbrushes into the yellow paint. Breathe in as we paint the yellow band and lift your arms up. Now breathe out as you drop your arms down.
Oh, man. I love that group. That's our youngest group. So what was great about that is it's not, especially in an age at that young age, it's not about forcing them to actually do it. You could tell that some of them weren't exactly going up and down with the recording as it was, but they were still participating, right? They were still breathing. Some of them were a little late going up and then they go down and it wasn't as long. Or one of them, you'd even notice on the side, he was kind of doing this kind of thing and stretching.
Right.
And that's what's great about that is giving them that opportunity to hear it. And then they know, oh, okay, look, this is part of that. Like I can just stretch and breathe. And to them, it doesn't even have to be, it's not a meditation, right? To them, it's all about a way to relax and a way to recharge, as we're just talking about. So this is another one of those great methods that once the kid has gotten in the car or even at home and has had those 30 minutes, they need a little bit extra, have them do some stretches, just light stretches. Another one that's really great for kids is called melting. It's the one that we did with the older kids. And that's where you kind of tense up everything. And then one by one, you let it go. And as you let it go, you melt to the floor. They were super dramatic. But it was awesome because they understood it, right? So we'll continue on here. And here we're going to hear answers. I asked each one of them where they think they could use the making a rainbow during school. Now, keep in mind that this isn't just during school. This could be applied during at home, too. So here's our first one.
I'm good at this help. When you're frustrated.
When you're frustrated. That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
So you see there, that was a good answer. When you're frustrated. That's one thing adults really fail at is when we're frustrated. We don't think about, okay, how can I release this in a better way?
Right.
We just think, okay, I'm going to release this. And it's usually not in the best manner, right? So that was a really great answer from him. Is just when I'm frustrated, I could until I'm not as frustrated. And this next one's going to make you laugh. Okay. Do you think you could use that when you were upset to help calm down a little bit?
Don't mess up and make a big splash.
That's true. We don't want to do that. Okay. So again, those younger kids, you're not always going to get the answer that you want. But if you think about it, he wasn't wrong.
Right.
If you mess up and make a big splat or splash, right? So you made a big mess. What do we often go towards when we mess up and make a big mess?
Right. Frustration
And anger. So that was still a great example of when he could use that.
Mhm.
He just said it in a little bit of a different way.
Right.
Do you think you could use it if there were too many people around you? Too much noise?
There's too much noise.
Yeah, when there's too much noise. Oh, so great. So he is not as verbal as other kids, right? That's one thing that we're working on with him. But he's always so great with his answers because, again, kind of like the one before him, he doesn't always understand fully what is being said, but he still comes with an answer that works. And I had to lead him a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he still understands. I don't like loud voices. I don't like big crowds.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yep. And that would be one time when you could use this, right? Even you don't necessarily have to make a rainbow, but you could do the breathing and shutting your brain into that state. So that way they're not bothering you as much because you're not paying attention to them.
Right.
This is by far my favorite one. When do you think you could use it?
I could use it every single time if I was at a guitar.
That is a really good point. So you see, even he nailed it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every single time I'm out of control.
Right. No, that was a spot on answer.
Because that's exactly what those episodes or outbursts or whatever you want to call it, that's what they are. Is the kids feel like they're out of control.
Right.
Even if they're not, that's what they feel like. And that's exactly what the meditative or the trance-like states, when they're doing something that they really, really enjoy,
right,
gives them that back. It gives them that control. And that control allows them to pull everything back together so that it is not a tornado through your house.
Right. The funny thing is that I found funny is he gave a very direct, quick answer, the right answer. But if you were to ask an adult, that's it. I don't know.
That is very true. Out of the mouth of babes, right?
Yeah, exactly. They'd be like, I don't know.
Yep. Oh, man. Well, I hope that you guys enjoyed this and were able to get some nuggets out of it. We will, if you reach out to us, if you have questions, we're always here. You can, of course, find us at boozbattalion.com. See there across the bottom. And even if you just have any questions, you want to get our take on anything that we've experienced or kids, then you can always email support@boozbattalion, and we will be able to answer you there. You can reach out to us on Facebook or on Instagram. We're also on YouTube as we're posting these. So any of the following places to get any answers to any questions that you might have about your kiddo and how to best help them as they're going along with their social anxieties. And, we look forward to seeing you next time as we continue to explore and discuss all of the issues that we face as family and friends with our socially anxious kiddos. You have anything else you want to add, babe?
No, y'all have a good night.
Bye.